This is meganLmcglover coming to you live on March the 28th, 2012. I just wanted to give a response to the many comments that I received on my personal Facebook page, meganLmcglover Facebook page, and share my thoughts on the Trayvon Martin situation and on the situation of so many shootings that have been going on across this country. Many of you who have read my blogs and who currently read my blogs on a daily basis know my stand on humanity, on compassion, and on love, just love for one another as a person. And so my stance for Trayvon Martin is exactly the same. That it is not about race. It is, in fact, about peeling the external differences between us all and showing that we are all humans. We are all one race, and that is the human race. For those of you who are questioning why so many African Americans are, in particular African Americans, are upset about it being a young black man shot, it is because George Zimmerman made it about race in an aspect. In a certain aspect of it, he is the one who made a racial slur and in fact turned it from a young boy being killed to a young black boy being killed. And so this is why you have the outcry and the uproar from so many people saying that it is a racial issue and it is in fact a hate crime. Okay, there have been a number of other incidences. Another young black fella was killed just here in Atlanta, Georgia 2 days ago. He was also unarmed. There was a woman who went to the hospital who said that she could not walk, and they did not treat her accordingly to her injuries, and she was arrested. This has been videotaped. She was arrested and drugged and placed on the floor of a prison and died a couple of hours later. And so it is an injustice to humanity all over. It is not just about the color of your skin, but as Martin Luther King Jr. said, it is the content of the character. And so what is the issue? The issue is that people are dying unnecessarily, and the justice system is not being used in its proper context. And so the outcry is that George Zimmerman, it is for me, that George Zimmerman be at least properly questioned and, if so necessary, booked, and then the trial and so forth, so that we can rule it self-defense, if that is in fact the case, and if in fact it was that he murdered the young boy, then let justice be served. Either way, it's the same thing. And so that is the main concern. As for those of you who are on my Facebook and on my Twitter talking about Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, there is no need for you to continue to do that, because I do not support, and I'm okay with saying this, it's no problem, I do not support the majority of what Al Sharpton and what Jesse Jackson stands for. And I have no problem with that. I'll be more than happy to go up against them in a debate, either one of them, because the bottom line is that this is a human that has been killed, from what we can see, unnecessarily. And so let's just get the facts. Let's do the investigation. Let us arrest, take into custody, whatever needs to be done, George Zimmerman. This guy's father from what I understand, is a judge. His mother also works for the court system. And so if you and I were shot and the person who has been accused of murdering us, their parents were in the judicial system, would we want our families to cry aloud the same thing? Most certainly we would. And so let us not get too judgmental about the different emotions that are coming from this. They are rightfully there. However, let us not forget what our objective is. And our objective is to see that the proper procedures are taken and that the proper information is in fact investigated and found, so that Trayvon Martin can, if you want to say, rest in peace. I'm sure he's resting in peace whether we find out who killed him or not, whatever. But the bottom line is so that his family can be satisfied with the information that has been accurately found. And that is my stand on it. I am not screaming for Zimmerman's arrest because it is a white man or another race outside of African American. I am screaming for him to be arrested because anyone that shoots someone, whether it was self-defense or not, the system states that you are to be arrested and properly questioned, and then if seen necessary, a trial amongst your peers, and then so forth, a judgment will come. And that is all that we are asking for. And so I say to you this: it is not just Trayvon Martin. It is not just the young fellow who was recently murdered, or so many that have come. We're not just seeking justice for Trayvon Martin or for the number of young men who have died, and young women all over this country, black, white, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. We actually are seeking justice for the child who has not yet been shot, killed, and murdered. I'm seeking justice for my unborn son and for your unborn son and daughters who have not yet even been born. Because if we do not get a handle on something like this, we are going to continue to be at state capitals all over this nation, and we will continue to riot and protest and yell and scream and be in enormous amounts of pain because of what's going on. And so this is just my announcement from my heart, that we need to stick together, not yelling and screaming at the top of our lungs and waving banners, but simply saying that right does not need to be justified. Right is just right. And the right thing is for George Zimmerman to be brought in and properly questioned, and therefore, if deemed so, arrested for what very simply looks like murder. And then we'll go on from there. So many of us are suffering from the loss of loved ones, not to mention the war that constantly goes on and on. So we want to objectively experience love and joy and happiness in our lives. So this is a serious report coming to you live from Megan McGlover out here in Atlanta, Georgia. I love you long and I love you strong. But as always, don't be stupid. I'm out.